Hey, today we have news about Helldivers 2 and Xbox. We'll also talk about how the community manager said the Democracy Space Station will change over time, even after it's been constructed. We'll go over a connection problem that's just popped up, and there's much more to discuss. If you'd like to support the channel, tap the like button below at any point and subscribe with notifications turned on. What we'll address first in today's discussion is a question from a player on the Helldivers 2 official Discord regarding the possibility of Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox. The community manager known as Twinbeer responded by indicating that such a decision is not in the hands of Arrowhead Game Studios, but rather depends on Sony and Xbox to negotiate and decide. He mentioned, "Who says it couldn't? It's not up to us, but to Sony and Phil to duke out. But hypothetically speaking, if both partners think it would benefit them from a financial brand standpoint, it could. If Sony believes it won't though, it won't. There's a possibility it could happen if they were to negotiate and figure out how both parties would like it to be done. I think it would be a great idea. It would give us all more divers to join in on the galactic war and to play with." Recently, Xbox confirmed they were going to give PlayStation players access to the new Indiana Jones game, and likewise Hi-Fi Rush will also be making its way to PlayStation, along with a few other games. If Sony and Microsoft are willing to do the same and give Xbox players access to Helldivers 2, that would be amazing, and it would bring more attention to Helldivers 2. Do you all like the idea of it being ready and available on Xbox, or would you rather it stay a PlayStation exclusive? Let me know in the comments. Next up, Twinbeard answered another question, this time about the Democracy Space Station. Are we going to be able to enter inside it or not? The answer was that it can change over time, but he didn't specify whether or not it'll be possible. Here in this post on the Helldivers 2 Discord, he wrote, "I never mind questions, that's a big part of why I'm here. We're not going into the details on the DSS yet. What I can say is that it will most likely change and evolve over time, just as the game does with content, changes to the galactic map, etc. One of the best things with a live service game is the ability to tweak, add, remove continuously according to demand, wishes, resources, hopes, and dreams, etc. I'm stopping there before this becomes a pretentious version of, today we celebrate our Independence Day. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but we know that if there's enough demand for certain changes, the developers at Arrowhead are willing to bring certain features if they're requested enough. I know I'd love it if it were possible, and hopefully it will be, yet as of right now, there's no word or confirmation that it'll happen. I guess for right now, it's best to not have high expectations and just go with the flow and see what happens." With that question aside, we have confirmation that there have been more disconnection issues recently. A few players on Discord and Reddit have been posting an image that says, "Network error. Received a fatal alert message from the server." There's a reason for this, and it's due to Arrowhead experiencing issues with their network. In this post right here, Twinbeard confirmed it by stating, "Hey troops, we might have unstable logins for the next 5-15 minutes. Seems a part of an automaton got jammed between two cogwheels. There are issues right now, and if you're still unable to log in, I suggest sending a message on Discord or submitting a support ticket if the problem persists." A similar situation happened 2 days ago when I updated you all on what's happening, and it seems the connection issues have surfaced again. Moving along, we have new leaked details about an objective mission from Iron Sights on X. Yet before I continue, if you'd like to skip ahead to avoid spoilers, I suggest scrolling down below and clicking on one of the different timestamps. With that said, he wrote that there's a new mission called Hive Scanner Objective. Apparently, the goal is to manually place the Hive Scanner at a certain part of the map to scan underground hive tunnels. He also mentioned that this information could change, so I'm just throwing that disclaimer out there in case the mission turns out, completely different. The question I'm sure many of you are probably wondering, will this be a mission where you can go underground and explore hive tunnels? No, I don't think that's going to be possible at all. Arrowhead's community manager Twinbeer revealed at the time that it was deemed too difficult or simply not feasible. In this post right here, he responded to a player and said, "We've said before the tunnels were considered but deemed being too difficult technically and or to not fit in at the time due to being so different in terms of gameplay, visuals, etc. Not sure if they're ruled out entirely, but in any case, not happening anytime soon, I'd wager. I'm going to bet that it's not going to be possible, perhaps due to the game's engine's limitations, but who knows? Things can change over time. However, as of right now, we know it's not going to be a possibility. That aside, I wonder if the new Hive Scanner objective mission could be related to the Hive Lord boss. I'd like to see a mission eventually where we actually fight a Hive Lord. And we have a clue that it's going to be possible, since we've seen Hive Lord skeletons across different biomes. Anyway, what we know as of late is that there's going to be a stratagem you can send down to help locate the hive tunnels, and we'll have to go around the map to locate the hive tunnels or whatever is required to complete the objective mission. On a different note, the recent major order popped up yesterday, and I'm sure the majority of you have already seen my video previously. Still, I do have an update on the status if you haven't checked the Galactic War map recently. We haven't defended any planets yet on the Terminid side, but on the Automaton side we've made progress. We've liberated about 40% of Leseth, so we have roughly 60% left to go with only 21 hours remaining, as I'm making this video anyways. By the time you're watching this, the situation could have changed, so we've got to kick it into high gear and liberate this planet as soon as possible. If we can manage that, it would be great to defend 3 planets on the right side, or at least stop the Terminids from advancing towards Akamar. I suggest we focus on liberating Leseth, as I mentioned yesterday, and then we should pivot to the Terminid side to prevent the bugs from reaching Turin. I think this is the best strategy, and it should assist in the construction of the Democracy Space Station. Let's now talk about the newest Warbond called the Truth Enforcers, and the first weapon we're going to take a look at is the new Plasma Pistol. The new Plasma Pistol is called Plas 15 Loyalist Plasma Pistol, as you can see right here. Now, this right here will allow you to either choose between semi-auto, or you can charge it up for a full shot, just to add more kick to it. It's essentially like a mini purifier, and that's going to be really cool to create a build based around full plasma now, and we have the option to. The second weapon we're going to be able to pick up is the SG-20 Halt, and this apparently is very similar to the Punisher, because that's what they mentioned within the description here. You apparently can switch between stun rounds and armor penetrating flechette rounds, which is pretty cool. Now, not only are we going to be receiving a secondary and a primary, but we've also got another primary, which is going to be the SMG-32 Reprimand. Now, the developers describe this as a heavy SMG. Right here it says, which is a heavy SMG. It also has a cool slap reload, just like in the accurate true-to-life movies you love. So that's insane. We're going to be receiving 2 primaries and 1 secondary. This is probably way better than the last Warbond. So as I've said, we're receiving 2 primaries and 1 secondary, but you can't have a Warbond without some drip. Right here, the developers wrote, you're also going to need some new Hell Drip. For our light armor loving comrades, you can tap into your bureaucratic spirit with a UF-16 Inspector in crisp, stain-free white, with red accents and a coordinating cape. The proof of faultless virtue, it's given Overseer Squad Leader. It's not just one armor, but we're also receiving the other one, which is the UF-50 Bloodhound, and both of these armors look incredible. The armors that are coming might have a new passive. Right here, the developers wrote, we want our Helldivers to stand strong against all who oppose the truth, so both of these armors have the Unflinching passive, which reduces staggering when hit. This right here is amazing, so when you're on the field and you're getting shot at, you should experience less stagger and you should be able to continue forward and just fight on. And I think this is an incredible passive. I think they do a great job on their passives, let alone. I would love to know your thoughts about this passive, as well as all of your other thoughts about what we're going to talk about here soon. But yeah, this one, amazing. It's not just the armors, because the capes look pretty rad too. You've got this red, white, and you've got one with a red and black, and they're both designed perfectly. There's also the player banners, which is proof of faultless virtue, pride of the whistleblower. Interesting that they use whistleblower. But those two look incredible too. I think the whole armor design, the color choice of this whole entire Warbond is just immaculate, man. It looks just incredible. I think I might be just overhyped right now, but just from looking at this Warbond, it does look pretty cool. Now, for quite some time, there has not been a booster, and so now we do have one, and it's called the Dead Sprint. So if you take a look at this description right here, the developers wrote, the new Dead Sprint booster may drain your health once your stamina is at 0, but it will enable you to keep outrunning the enemy. Okay, so I'm not too sure how I feel about the booster. I mean, it does sound like it's going to be quite useful. You're going to be able to continue sprinting, but it's also going to drain your health. So what worries me about this is that I feel like it's not going to be used as often like some of the other boosters. I'm not saying it's a terrible idea or that it's going to be bad, because we just don't know yet. But what I'm thinking is that this might not be as useful, because you're going to be sprinting, your health is going to be drained, and then any type of shot or any type of damage that's inflicted on you is going to hit dramatically, because your health is already depleting, right? Now, it depends also how fast your health does deplete, because If it's fast, then that might not be welcomed, right? You may not like it. But if it's slow and steady, then that might be perfect. But again, we just don't know how it's going to work. Once I get my hands on this, I will let you guys know about everything about it. I'll go through it. I'll go through several tests, and we'll see if it's worth it or not. I will say that if you have another booster like the stim booster, for some reason I cannot remember it at the current moment, but you guys know what I'm talking about, that might help with this. So there is a possibility of that, and we'll just see how things go when you combine it with other boosters. But I thought I would let you guys know about this newest Warbond, and it looks awesome. So I've talked about a lot about this Warbond, but I do want to bring up the colors and the new player title. We have the Free of Thought, which is really nice. It's a red, black type of icon. And then for the patterns, you also got the same type of thing, right? Overall, I would love to know your thoughts about this Warbond. Are you excited about it more than the last Warbond? Or are you just, like you might not get it? But just let me know how you feel about it. I think it's awesome. I will definitely pick this up, and I'll be reviewing it, telling you guys my honest thoughts, testing everything out, and I'll just let you guys know how it is. So you might be wondering, when is this going to be available? It's going to be available on October 31st. Anyways, I'm not going to cover any loadout suggestions just yet, but in the next video, I am going to cover 2, just like I did in a previous video. So if you have any type of loadout suggestions, make sure you recommend them down below, and I might just feature them in the next video. But with that, there will be 2. So that means whatever you have commented before might be thrown in the next one, as well as in this video. So one comment will be pulled from the previous video, and one comment will be pulled from this video, and I'll be featuring those all in the next one and showing your loadouts. Anyways, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below, because right now we're going to we're going to check out the top 3 comments. Holy smokes, I cannot speak. The first comment is by Timid Doran Gaming. DSS protection should be our first priority. We can protect it and then defend against future bug attacks. Yes, we can, and that's what I recommended in the previous video, or in that video that you commented on, but yeah, I agree. The second one is going to be Xenophile 6020, or 620. Excuse me, as my balls dropped, I laughed out loud. Thank you. You guys would have to check out the previous video to know what he's, referring to. It's, yeah, I said something. The last and final comment is by DH__. The last time I was this early, we were landing on the creek. And thank you guys for stopping by. You guys that do check out these videos early, wherever your time zone is, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate that. And with that being said, thank you guys again for checking out this video. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. I notice a lot of you are not subscribed. If you do it now, I would appreciate it, and I'll go ahead and just land on the automaton field, and I'll just start obliterating a lot in the name of democracy and for you guys. So subscribe now, give it a like, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one.